If you're thinking about taking a break from or getting rid of your social media, this is your sign to do it. I deleted all of my socials in November of 2018 because this was my life on social media, but this was my reality. My life looked super exciting, but I was actually smack dab in the middle of a breakdown. At the time I was moving from the West Coast to the South for work, I was in the middle of leaving a super toxic relationship, and I had never felt more alone in my entire life. There was a huge disconnect between the person that I was on social media and the person that I was in real life. I didn't even know who that girl was. Honestly, it was kind of scary to see myself trying to make it seem like everything was okay to the outside world, and in actuality, I was absolutely miserable. So once I actually relocated to my new place, I made a promise that I would focus on myself and I would try to live the life that I was portraying that I was living on social media. And I deleted everything. So disclaimer, because if you are here, chances are you already follow me on Instagram. So as of this recording, I started up back on Instagram because I wanted to document my new hobby. I fell in love with roller skating. I wanted to keep track of my progress, but I also wanted to just help motivate people to get outside and try something new and push themselves out of their comfort zone. It really makes me happy to see people being physically active, because I know that being active and moving around completely changed my life. So I wanted to motivate other people. Dasia, you just told me to delete social media and you have social media. Well, that just means that I get to offer you a very unique perspective. In less than 4 months, my Instagram has shot up to more than 20,000 people following me, which is an insane amount of growth by itself, but it's even more insane when you think about the fact that I went from having no social media at all to such a large number, which means that there's a bonus in here for you. I'm gonna tell you the good and the bad of not having social media, but then I'm gonna go a step further and I'm going to share with you the ugly, meaning the bad habits that have started to creep into my life as a result of having social media. But wait, there's more, because then I'm going to show you how I'm beating back these bad habits with a stick. Let's start with the good. When you don't have any social media, you actually have to be social. So full transparency, I did not have any friends until the age of 27. I realize now that I had associates, acquaintances, even frenemies, but I never had legit friends until I was 27 years old. And not having social media forced me to push myself out of my comfort zone. I was living in a new city, I knew no one, and I was halfway across the country from anyone that I had known previously. So it really forced me to be social. The most beneficial way that I learned to be social was I joined a kickball team. I am not a sporty person at all. I actually sucked. I'm pretty sure we lost a couple games because of me, but putting myself in that situation actually allowed me to meet the girl who would become my best friend. Pushing myself outside of my comfort zone also helped with my social anxiety. Before, I wouldn't be able to have a conversation without freaking out about the various possibilities of the way the conversation could go. And then I'd be so stressed out to the point where I wouldn't even have the conversation to begin with. So not having social media pushed me to not have a curtain to hide behind. And if I wanted to get something done or I wanted to do something, then I actually had to talk to people. Another really good thing was I started doing the things that I had made it look like I was doing on my page. I started traveling. I went on my first international trip. I didn't spend, every second trying to take pictures for the gram. I just enjoyed it for what it was. Another aspect being intentional versus convenient. And what I mean by that is because I didn't have social media, I had to be very, very intentional with how I communicated with people. I wrote more letters. I sent handwritten notes. Another offshoot of intentional versus convenient was when I did start making friends, they would screenshot me pictures of events. So if someone posted an event on Facebook, they would remember that I was living off of the grid and they would send over pictures of those events for me. And I don't know, that just kind of made me feel good. They'd actually go out of their way just a little bit to make sure that I knew what was going on and kind of keep me in the loop. It was also nice when I received birthday messages. When you're receiving birthday messages, you know that it's coming because someone actually took the time to put it in their phone calendar, or they remembered, and it wasn't because they got a notification or they scrolled past a comment and they saw other people saying happy birthday to you. Is because they cared. Another offshoot of being intentional versus convenient is I had time to pursue new hobbies. I learned how to play guitar. I've been wanting to learn how to play the guitar for 10 years, and it wasn't until I got rid of my social media and didn't have that distraction of a time suck. That leads me to the next good thing, which is I stopped comparing myself to people. When you have no socials, there's nothing to send little messages into your brain that you are not good enough. None of that. I also didn't have FOMO anymore. The only life that I had visibility into was my own, which means that the only person that I was comparing myself to was myself, the person that I was yesterday, the person that I was a month ago, the person that I was a year ago. Only person that I was competing with to be better than was myself, which made it hella attainable. All of that to say, when you are your only competition, the odds are ever in your favor. I think most importantly though, I had the time and the space and the bandwidth to kind of figure out who I was, who I wanted to be. The list of good is honestly so long. I highly recommend it. Take time to figure out who you are and the things that you want. Imagine yourself 2 years into the future. Who are you? What are you doing with your time? Who are your friends? How do you dress? What type of environment are you in? If I had social media clouding up my brain space all the time, I wouldn't have had time to think about those things. Let's talk about the bad. I'm gonna be honest, the list of why it's bad to not have social media is real small. Let's start at the top. People don't trust you. They automatically assume that you're hiding something, or they assume that you're lying about not having socials. You just don't want to give it to them, which makes them not trust you either way. Or they just think you're weird, which I guess it is kind of weird because you're going against the social norm, but whatever. People will definitely think that you're weird, and some people, it might put them off of you, but you can't make everyone happy. You're not a cinnamon roll. Another bad thing is I never bothered to look people up. If I want to talk to you, I want to kind of have my own feel for you and not have preconceived notions or anything like that. Which, it sounds good on the back end, but when you put it into practice, sometimes it can burn you. And I got burned a couple times. So when I started Instagram, I had been online dating. I had been hitting the Bumbles. I was getting my swipe on. This was the first time that I had the ability to kind of get a little background on someone before we went out on a date. So this guy asked me out on a date, checked out his bio, saw that he had his Instagram in there, and now that I had Instagram, it was like, all right, well, let's see what you're about. The first thing on his Instagram was a video in his bathroom mirror, like this.
The problem with the world today, everybody wants everything handed to them, but you know what? Look at me. I work hard.
Needless to say, I did not go on that date. And if I had had social media before, it probably would have saved me more than a couple dates. Side note, why don't dating apps require you to upload at least one video response instead of just pictures? I understand that it would put a lot of salt in the catfish game, but I feel like it'd be easier to get a grasp on, is this person going to annoy me? I hate the sound of their voice. Can I really move past this? You'd save people so much money and so much heartache. Let me know in the comments if you'd be down for video questions and profiles, or I'm an elder millennial. I don't keep track with all the technology. It's probably already out there. Let me know if it's already a thing. As I said, my list of bad is very small. That is it. There's not too many bad things about not having social media. There's definitely workarounds. We lived for entire millennia, century, thousands of years, let's say thousands. We've lived for thousands of years without social media. You do have to be a lot more intentional, and you actually have to push yourself out of your comfort zone, which I think social media makes it really easy to just bury yourself into and not focus on your individual reality. Let's talk about the ugly, the bad habits that have started to sprout up since I got back on social media. Ugly bad habit number 1, buying stuff I don't need because of targeted ads. I am talking to you, Rev Air hair dryer. Yeah, you got me. These ads know us inside and out. They know us better than we know ourselves, and they are amazing at convincing us that we need things in order for our lives to be fulfilled. I also started to realize I was buying more clothes, and subconsciously I realized that it was because I was thinking, oh, I've already worn this in an Instagram post. I had to check myself. Newsflash, yes, I've worn this outfit before. I own a washer and dryer. I can wear clothing again. You can wear it again. It is 100% fine. What are you doing? Some of the other reasons buying clothing for Instagram is ridiculous. One, I am incredibly basic and I have no sense of style. I also have a vertically challenged torso, and it's because of those reasons that no one has, nor will they ever, call me a fashionista or follow me because of my fashion sense. I have fully accepted that. I love t-shirts cut into crops, tennis skirts, and Chuck Taylors. If I had to name it, I'd call my sense of style Lady Tomboy. Or Tomboy Chic. Ooh, Tom Girl Chic. I like that. Maybe Tom Girl Chic. But I digress because no one will ever follow me for my sense of style. So what are we doing? Mini rant, do you know how much bandwidth it takes to choose and coordinate an outfit? Shout out to all my fashion peeps out there. You have my utmost respect. And I choose to live vicariously through you. That way I can put more time and energy into the hobbies that really nourish my life instead of worrying about what I'm wearing. Also, I hate laundry. It is the bane of my existence. And it really doesn't make sense for someone who hates laundry to keep buying clothes. I'm actually in a space in my life where I'm moving more towards minimalism, which I'll touch on in another video. I'd love to take you guys on that journey with me where I clear out my closet of all the things that I don't want or need. So look out for that. Outside of checking myself, your girl also removed that young payment method that would grant me quick access to just make a purchase. Bad habit number 2, spending too much time on social media. The solution that I had for this was reviewing my time activity. The first time I reviewed my time activity in IG and I saw that I had spent 2 hours that day on Instagram, I nearly lost my mind. It was unacceptable for me. Think about it. You only have 24 hours in a day. I only have 24 hours in a day. Let's say that you just so happen to do an amazing job and you get a full 8 hours of sleep that night. You have 16 hours less. Let's say that you have a 9-to-5 job where you work your full 8 hours. That's 8 hours left. We're not even factoring in a commute, if you have kids, any of those things. Let's give you 3 hours to deal with your commute, your kids. You've eaten dinner, all of that. That leaves you with like 5 hours left in a day to be a person. And 2 of those were spent scrolling the gram? No, that's unacceptable for me. So I set up time trackers on both my phone and in IG. So if I hit 45 minutes, that's it, girl. That's all you get. That 45 minutes is enough. If I do hit that timer, that's my cue to go and do something else. What I've realized is when I'm scrolling, my brain is craving stimulation and social media is starving it. That's why you have to consume so much of it. It's not filling you up. It's like eating little snacks when what you really need is a full meal. So I'd rather go and feed my brain with one of my hobbies, playing guitar, skating, reading, writing, journaling, meditating, working on my budget. Everyone here could probably work on their budget. Anything else than giving my life to this screen. I also have no notifications on for IG. If it's an emergency, call me. Those are the 2 biggest bad habits that I've noticed started to creep back in, and I don't think I would even be aware of them if I hadn't spent so much time off of social media. And I kind of have a baseline for how much money I'm spending, what I'm doing with my time, how well my time could actually be used if I wasn't wasting it on social media. This video went on a little bit longer than I expected. Honestly, in all seriousness, I'm happy to report that there are no disconnects between the person that I am on my social media and the person that I am right now. We are the same girl. I'm not pretending to be anyone or anything but me. And honestly, I don't truly believe that I would have been able to do that if I hadn't left social media. So, no regrets. All of this to say, nothing matters more than your mental, physical, and emotional health. If you're thinking of taking a break from social media, the world won't end, and it'll be there for you when you get back. If you decide to come back. But if you don't, that's okay too. Protect your peace. I'll see you guys in the next one. That's a wrap, Nymeria.